Hi, Transition Age family. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching us. Today, I've brought the transition age themselves. I've brought the youth themselves, and they will be here to tell us how they're navigating life and how they would want us to handle them in this generation. I think that is the best thing to do because we are doing a show about them and yet we are not even involving them, right? Yeah, so the young people out there, these people are representing you. If they don't represent you well, you're going to comment and tell us, right? Yeah, so welcome Jerry and Prince on the show. So what is your name and what is your age?
My name is Mugabi Jeremiah and I am 14 years old.
My name is Atwine Prince. I'm 22 years old.
Yes. So greet our viewers and then we start the chat.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. So today, me and Prince are going to represent the youth in a series of questions.
Wow. Wow, that's wonderful. We are good to go. So it's holidays, you guys. It's holiday time. How do you find the holiday? It's ending actually. How has it been?
The holiday has been smooth. Yeah, it has been well because we are at home. Of course, a home has to be different from a school.
Sure.
That's obvious. So at home you feel comfort. You find out people that have been missing, relatives, the family, and everyone in regardless of life. So you have to have a very different feeling.
Okay.
That is so special about home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So how has been holidays, Jerry?
For me, the holiday was good. Even if it was short, I was able to learn a few things from it. Yes.
Okay. So what challenges do you find as you navigate life and how would you want us to tackle them as society and as parents? Just life generally. The challenges you face and how would you want us as parents and as a society to handle your challenges?
The challenge is me as me myself.
Yes.
That's the class that I'm in. I am with people who are ahead of me.
Okay.
So most of the people there, when I'm giving an opinion, since I'm younger, and they think since I've skipped there and I'm younger, they don't take my opinion to matter.
Wow. So you people record and report. You get what this youth is complaining. Yes.
Okay. In regard of the question you have asked, you have to first understand the meaning of the question. So there is parenting. So parenting is nurturing a person for the best version of him or herself according to the society or the community and the family in regard. So therefore, sorry, now parenting, like when you're parenting someone, depending on the parent, youth, we receive a lot of challenges. So whereby in this era we have working parents. So every time 24/7 they are working, they have to
They're not there.
they are not always there. They have to go and work, whereby so you have to get something to take him to grow up and nurture. But depending on the, like most of us, like the current generation, we have nuclear families. So
You have
that
no one to
you know want to be there.
to give you
Most
that.
of
Okay.
most of us, we like especially the children, the young kids, that is left at home to be taken care of. Be taken care of by the maids, whereby maids have different behaviors. So the kids grow up while like adopting the behaviors of the maids that are imparted, like they are imparting in them. But those people of long time ago, they had extended families. So if the parent is not there, the mother is not there, the father, the grandparent, the grandmother could be there, or either the brothers and the sisters.
Would be
Yeah, it would be there for them to guide
aunties
them,
and
counsel
uncles
them.
at least.
Yeah, at least they would guide them that you should do this or either this one. So most of the times, children are always left in that whereby they learn some other behaviors that are not so good to be presented to the rest of the society and the community that we are in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the challenge you find.
Yeah.
And how do you think, as a generation of these days, we should handle such an issue where we have to work and then the children also need parenting?
I think parents should create some, even though it is little time for the parents, at least come
For the
at
children.
home early, and you check on the children. You ask what's wrong, what has happened. Give them some time. Take time and give guidance, counseling, and ask what are the challenges
Okay.
in regard of those people looking for exploring themselves using social media. Actually, the current version, we have AI, artificial intelligence, whereby most students are being spoiled, but by the current technology we're having, they have to explore themselves what is going on in the society,
yeah.
and most
And
especially
some of the information is not even right.
yeah, and most of them, they are more informed than the parents, so they have to be knowing everything that is going on, and due to the peer influence and the negative attitude towards like them, especially according to the current generation, the one I'm seeing, the one we are in, the negativity outside is too much.
It's too much, true.
So that means in order to adopt that, most of the youth, they adopt that because they don't have guidance, counseling, direction, and controlling them, like depending on the parents, because they are ever working,
They're busy.
they are busy always looking for a way forward. How can we survive in life? So if they can try to create like, even though time for like 1 hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, and you take time, you guide the children, say, do you know what? You're supposed to do this. Before we do this, let us always first think about it. We discuss as children. Don't go here, don't do this, don't do this. So that they can give them a way forward and they prevent themselves from that negativity that is outside in the society.
Great, great. That takes us to our next question. Actually, I wanted to ask about all this information that you have around. And there is a lot of information. We never had this information around us.
Yeah.
For us, we didn't have AI, we didn't have social media, we did not have, so there is a lot of information, there is a lot of exposure, there is everything out there for you guys. So how are you handling this information that you're getting, the good and the bad, the beneficial and the non-beneficial, and how are you choosing what to take and what to leave?
According to me, on like the information, let's say it's on TikTok. TikTok is built in a way where there's an algorithm. Now, when you open the app for the first
What do
time,
you call it?
an algorithm. When you open it for the
GenZ.
first time, they give you a topic, like a group of topics that you're supposed to choose, and among them there's educative, so you can choose educative and some other things. Now, when they're presenting for you on your For You page, they'll only bring for you things in that line. Then, suppose they bring something that's not what what you have not chosen.
Yeah.
They'll obviously, they know that they've done that, so they'll bring for you a question that is this information what you're interested in. Then you can click no or yes. Then if they don't bring, you can still choose the option that I'm not interested in this information. Then you continue.
Okay, so that is how you're able to refuse what is wrong and what is right. But these things are interesting, even some of these things are wrong, but they're interesting. They are good to the eye. You would want to see, you would want to explore, and you're in that stage where you need to, you're discovering, you're interested in knowing things. I am curious to know how you make up your mind to say that I will not consume this kind of, you're saying your answer, but also guiding someone out there, how they can choose right, how they can filter the kind of content, because once the eye has already seen, then you cannot do anything about it. You are affected by it, so the better to not do it at all. So how you choose to decide to say, okay, this, even if it's appealing to the eye, I will not take it in.
Oh, according to me, okay, like the channels that I follow a lot on YouTube and TikTok, they have explained something in a way that is like something that's appealing to the mind. In our mind, we have a section, and once you see something appealing, it reduces a hormone called dopamine. Now, there is
Are we understanding?
there is there is real dopamine that is produced like when you're watching something funny, when you're doing exercises, vigorous exercises. That's real dopamine. Then there's this dopamine like where you're watching something that's not real, that's fake dopamine. Now they explain that you can tell the difference between fake and real dopamine. Then you should start chasing real dopamine instead of fake dopamine.
Did I even understand? Dopamine, what is dopamine? First, explain. Let Jerry first. Okay.
Sorry for interruption, but okay, dopamine. Since I offer biology, so dopamine I know it very well. So dopamine is it's a hormone that is produced in the body when, like, especially when you, in regardless of pleasure, when you see something and you feel like, yeah,
Excited,
are you
yeah.
excited? So that's the one that is always released in the body. That's the, if you look at, even mere looking at something that you like, that hormone is always released. That's the hormone that is always like inactivates our body depending on the pleasure. Seeing something that you have looked at, that's something that you like. Most of the times,
Okay.
that's what it's right. That's what it does. Yeah.
I'm taking
So
notes here, you guys. I hope you are all taking notes.
okay,
Me, I'm taking notes.
once again, like back to the question. So, what the things they're supposed to do as a youth? First of all, supposed to follow the Bible. The Bible is the first tool to follow because it is a guide. Mainly, for me, I describe it as a guide that like helps you prevent sin, do something wrong. So, sorry, if you have the Bible besides you, that means you have someone to guide you, always, as long as you always read and follow what it tells you. And if you read and you see that you're not understanding, at least get someone who understands it better than you, so that he can explain it to you. Because not all of us we are given like that gift of interpreting the Bible.
Yeah.
All of us we can't interpret the Bible. You can find someone can interpret it better than me, or either can interpret it, then I reach at a certain level and I stop there. The other one interprets it better than me. So that means I have to approach him because he's better than me, and he explains it to me, directs me according to the word, what it is saying.
Okay.
So the next thing, you have to be honest and be like truthful. Be open. If something is wrong, don't hide it and say, now this one is wrong, let me hide it and I do this. No, be open-minded and be honest. Tell someone that this one is wrong. I'm telling you this one is wrong, don't do it. If someone is doing, let's say current people, most of the youth, they take drugs, drugs and alcohol. So drugs, we all know the effect of drugs to our health. When you can use a drug and it becomes a medicine to you, but yeah,
If you use
it
it
must be
wrongly.
having an effect. Anything that is artificial, is having a side effect. It's a must. Anything that is artificial has a side effect. So if you take drugs in excess, they have to affect your health. Even though it is not that exact time, there must be time that is going to be in return going to bring a negative what attitude, anything wrong to your health. Another one, you have to be self-control. Have to be
Have self-control.
have self-control. If you're not seeing that you're getting it, make sure you approach we have priests, we have fathers, we have evangelists, we have all over
Pastors.
bishops, we have pastors. You can go there and ask for help so that you can boost your self-control, control yourself from being attempted. Don't be attempted to anything that is all over the world. So if you see something that is bad, that is approaching to your phone, that is coming, you're having your phone, of course, that is some people that can blackmail you. So you have to make sure you block them. Something wrong, say, this one is wrong, automatically this one is wrong. I don't like it. I don't have to follow it. You block it. You look for something that is at least better. And again, the society, you have to have a positive attitude. Anything wrong, have a positive attitude. Because anything that guides us, that helps us grow up in harmony, honesty, and trustworthy is attitude. If you have any time, as long as you have a negative attitude towards anything, that thing that thing turns out to be negative to you. So in order to overcome it, have a positive attitude. If someone abuses you, say, that is not right. Just have a positive attitude. Don't abuse him or her back. No. Just say, what you're doing is wrong. So you're not supposed to continue doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. We
Thank
are
you.
doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my next question to you guys, and I want you to be honest. Hey, I don't want you to fear me or fear anybody. You're speaking on behalf of your peers out there. We are going to talk about these changes that come with your age. Okay, there are physical changes, like now you people have got a voice, you have started having that chest is out now, you know, you're glowing, the face is glowing, and you're so handsome. All those are changes that come, and these changes are not just physical, they are mental, they are inside, they come with feelings, they come with, you know, with attraction, and that is very normal. That is very normal. And yet we are told that at this age, those feelings you're getting right now, you cannot use them. And God is giving you these feelings at this time. So how are you tackling now? Your body has changes, and these changes are forcing you to do certain things or to have a certain mindset. And how do you manage to, you talked about self-control. How do you manage to say, no, I will not do this and this and that my body is telling me what to do, because it's not yet the right time or it's not the right thing to do?
Okay. The physical changes, there is one, the physical changes like developing a deep voice. It can lead to another, is it mental change, where you feel that now that you have a big voice, that you now mind that this one can't tell me something like this and I accept it. So
I thought you didn't know. Me, these things, I thought we are the ones who see these things.
okay. So it can lead you to think that
I'm a
and
grown up.
I'm grown up like that. So now when it leads you to think that, you will have negative attitude to someone correcting you, and it's not good. So for me, in order to help me know that it's wrong and I shouldn't do it, is that, well, okay, where I stay, I am not the youngest, I'm not the oldest, but like among the people who I am older than, I have to set an example for them. So if I'm doing that, then they're also doing the same thing to me, I will feel bad. So I shouldn't do that
Okay,
to them.
that is great.
Yeah. Like the question you have asked like opens us to, you talked about changes. So according to me, I see changes as in regard of, like, it is wide. So we have physical changes, we have mental changes, we have emotional changes, and the rest. So we have physical changes. Physical changes, these are the changes that, like, we see with eyes that are happening in us. Having beards, that is a physical change.
Yeah.
You see that this one has gotten beards. Yes, this one is growing up. Yeah, those are physical changes. Having muscles, having breasts, having hips for the girls. So those are the physical changes we see. So the mental changes, this one has already talked about them.
One of it.
One of them, that we have deepening of the voice for the boys, softening of the voice for the girls. Like the hormones increase, the secretion of hormones in the body increases depending on the stage. Like, remember when you are growing, the youth, it's like the youth. A youth is a person who is in between the age of 13 to 35. So it combines adolescence and puberty. So in that line, the puberty and at puberty, the hormones that are secreted in the body, they are at par, like at climax. So they are always like
High.
excess high. So therefore, to control the hormones, like you remember, the hormones are the ones that lead you to do something. You have to stick to the Bible, because it's the one that can continue controlling you. Because if you go aside the Bible, that means you're making a very bad step. You have to follow the Bible, what the Bible tells you. Go through the Bible, ask for help. Where the verses that are talking about the youth, how can you manage that level of youth? How can you pass through? How can you control it? Besides it, go. Most of us, like the children, we learn from our parents. So if a parent does something that is not at par, like in the right direction, so most of us sometimes we take that because they are our elders, so they are what? They are guiding us. So most of our parents, I think they should also change a little bit. They give us always direction, so that we can get a good path. Also, like, most of the times, the community also contributes a lot. So if the community is full of people who are not good in the society, who are gangs, who are thieves, who are like kidnappers, these people who carry out defilement, and these people who take a lot of drugs and become addicted, also makes people, the children, the youth of nowadays, to grow up thinking that that one is good, yet that one is not bad, but yet that one is not good. So they have to go to the church every day, every Sunday, not every day, because can't go to church every day. Sorry. So have to go to church every Sunday. You seek for help from God, and make sure you have self-esteem. You can also build in it in yourself.
You can build it. Okay.
Yeah, you have to believe, have faith in God. If you don't have faith, that means you want to believe what is being given to you, what is going to happen. You can't say that now this one, if I pray to God, this one is going to happen. If you don't have faith, that one can't happen, because God works for those people who have faith in Him. If you go to Psalms 119, chapter 30, 119, 30. That's how I can say it, because that's how, I think, according to the generation we are in, that's what we say. So it says that I have obeyed to you, and have given attention to you for your judgment. What does it mean? It means that in order to control yourself, to have self-control, you have to bring God closer to you. Because if you don't always read the Bible, pray to God, ask for help, and give sacrifices like tithe, like offertory, that means that It's like you're putting God very far. And indeed, in that, like that time when you want Him like it's when you're going to ask for help. Yet you have been moving aside, aside. I've not been praying. I'm not at that time when you are free. You have a lot of joy. You're okay. You're not been praying. You're not seeking for help, praying to God, going to church, helping the needy, like what God wants, what wants you to do. So by the time you want Him to help you, He won't come and help you because you have been ignoring Him. So you want Him at that time when you are in need. That means He won't also be there for
show
you.
up for you.
Yeah.
Wow. These people. Hey, these people, you see this generation, there are things they're talking about, and I'm like, it is this age telling me this, or so you see when the changes in them, they know all those details better than we do. You have something to add? Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So me, one thing that I value a lot is my, how should I say, like, where I don't get ashamed. I don't want to get ashamed. So at school, there are these people who they catch in, okay, their
Wrong things.
yes, their emotions get the best of them, so they lead them astray. So now they catch those people, then they ashame them publicly in front of the whole school. Now,
Oh, they still do that.
me, I wouldn't want anything like that to happen to me. So I try my level best so that it
avoid
doesn't
it.
happen. Yes.
Wow, that means that is a good strategy of keeping people in check. Wow, that is a good one. Now I want to ask your generation. When we look at it, me, I'm a millennial, and in my generation, the way we used to do things was different from the Gen Z generation. And so your generation seems to be driven by feelings. You see, these days we discuss feelings. How do I feel? The way the parent did that, it affected how the child felt. In my generation, we didn't have those things of how I feel. It has become a feelings thing that's why even you see somebody tells you, me, I feel a girl, I'm a girl, and you're supposed to start addressing me as a girl. It's about feelings. Another one will say, you see, for me to buy your idea as my parent, you should mind about how I will feel about it. You see, it's a generation of feelings and feelings and feelings. So, and in my generation, it was not like that. It was either you do it this way or the right way, but it did not matter whether it affects your feelings or it affects what, as long as it's the right thing. So do you really think that this feelings thing, I'm not talking about the feelings we have just addressed in the other question, but I'm saying, do you think this feelings thing is something we should be a determinant of life, just like how your generation is doing things?
To me, I say no, it should not be a determinant of life. That okay, this thing of feelings has led to a lot of disunity among the world. For example, there is this YouTuber, the most subscribed YouTuber is called Mr. Beast. Now, Mr. Beast has his crew that he works with. Now, a certain member in his crew was called Chris. Now he became transgender, and he changed to, I think, a woman. I don't know what he changed to. Now, ever since then, Mr. Beast had around 600 billion subscribers. Now, when he did that, when the person changed, he broke off from the crew. Then Mr. Beast's followers also reduced. Then also there's this person in his crew. I forgot his name, but he also changed. He didn't change his feelings, but when he saw what was happening to Mr. Beast's crew, he left it and he became. He started his own TikTok channel to preach the word of God.
Wow.
Then also Mr. Beast's subscribers reduced, and now they went to this person who changed his idea. Now, this whole idea of changing, like, okay, of just feeling to do something and changing is not right. and it's being condemned by everywhere. Like Uganda had refused it, and since we had refused it, the World Bank had refused for some time. That refused to give us funds for it.
So it affects, the unity of people.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. About the question you addressed to us, feelings. I think the main cause is a lot of freedom. When someone is given a lot of freedom, especially the youth that of the current generation, it makes him to think that he can decide and do anything that he wants. So, like the parents out there, I'm speaking depending on
child,
me as
yeah.
a child, as a youth. The parents are not supposed to give too much freedom to their children, because there is a story they told me that at a certain school, because the child had a lot of freedom, so he turned out to carry out suicide because he was denied to be given something that he wanted. Yet, yes, the parents were rich, they had some money, yeah, they could afford. But since they just denied, they said, we are not giving you this, the child tends to refuse and say that if you don't give me this, now I'm not also going to study. It was a visitation day. So the parents came like as usual to come and visit their child. When they reached, they asked the child, like, what do you want? They said, then the child automatically said that I want this. I want, let's say like the current phones that we're having, this one can flip. The current, what is the name? Z Flip 6. Yeah, those ones can flip. I'm not so much exposed to that.
Into gadgets.
Yeah. So like when the child asked for it, the mother said that you already have the other one, so why don't you wait? If the other one gets old or like gets spoiled, then you buy for you the other one. He said, no, I want this one. This is what I want. So that one indicates that the child had a lot of freedom. So that means he can be confident and say that
it was his right to be given whatever they want.
So he has to decide and say, I want this or this. So you don't have to argue. You don't have to bargain. So you have to bring it. That one tends to show that the freedom was too much. And the child, since the parent refused to give the child what the child wanted, the child also went and committed suicide. That one shows that freedom is impacting highly, actually the highest of the feelings that we are always having as youths. Because children, is going to say, I want this. I see something that is trending on TikTok. He's going to go to the parent, say, I want this, I want this. So the parent said, no, we can't afford that money. You wait. Next time, either wait for some time or at least for 2 months or either 1 year. But the child is not going to wait for it. Since he has been given a lot of freedom, he's going to dictate and say, for me, I want this. Which is very bad. So therefore, the parents are supposed to be at least somehow, I think, somehow rude. Somehow, that's how I can say.
To put a stop
strategy,
to certain things,
to a certain level, so that you guide the child not to go beyond his or her limits. Say, you're supposed to stop here. If I say this, that means I don't have. It's not like I don't want, but I don't have. Or that is not supposed to be given to you at that time. So
you don't even need it.
You don't even need it at that time. There's no use for it. So you have to be patient and wait for that exact time. Then you will get it. Have to be patient.
The youth themselves are advising us to be a little hard on them. You spoke about suicides, and I remembered mental health has become a very big issue of discussion in this generation. Depression, those are things that are becoming too high these days, and suicides based on, small, small things like those are so common in your generation. Can you talk about that, expound on why are we having mental health issues these days in your generation, having suicides in this generation, people falling into depression a lot in this generation? Is there something we are not doing right in this generation that is causing that?
Okay, all along, I've been talking about like freedom, too much freedom. You see, parents of current generation, they give a lot of freedom to their parents,
The children, yeah.
to their children. Sorry. Also, the technology we are in gives a negative impact to the children. Remember, a child of 2 years knows how to switch on the
To
what?
operate.
To You can give a child of 2 years. He switches on the internet. He scrolls. He goes looks for TikTok.
What they
Right
want, yeah.
what they want, and scrolls and gets what he wants or she wants. So that means that the technology they can scroll into something wrong, like bad, unknowingly.
True.
Imagine a child of 4 years, 2 years, that one can drop into something that is bad at over internet, because internet is having a lot of things that are
Impact,
bad
yeah.
and good. Some are good, some are bad. But according to the current generation, the highest percentage it is having negative impact.
Okay.
Negative impact, like most of the things you find there on the pages, posting what the
Yeah,
always
fake life. People are living a
Yeah.
fake life out there, and the young generation wants to emulate that.
Yeah.
That the people are showing on social media, and so they want to live a life higher than their
Yeah.
own, and it affects their mental health, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Then another thing is like, if you go to schools, you see these schools we have different people from different areas. So we have students who are students of ministers, students of members of parliaments. We have students like
Business people.
business children of business people, children of people who are peasants, who are having a poor background. But you find, remember, like, I don't know, most of the youth, they forget where they come from. So they see the life of the other people.
That's a point.
Yeah. So they see the life of the other people, the life they are living in. They want to also imitate and formulate, and they also be like stay in the life, or like depending, like also as the same as theirs. Yet they don't know where they come from, that at their home they can't afford it. So that one makes someone to have a depression about something. Say, now how can I get this? This one is having this. Let's say according to my school, let me say according to my school. I'm not going to say out my like the name of my former school, also my school where I am in. But most people, they find a child of a minister is given 400 as pocket money. Then for you, you have pocket money of 30, pocket money of 20. You see, he's going always getting milk at the canteen every day, milk, getting milk cake. Those are expensive things. Can't spend 5K every day. That means that you're not you're not budgeting your money. You're not saving. You're not seeing what is. You can't save any amount of money for you to at least do something that is good for yourself. For him, is every day break is 5,000. Lunch doesn't go for food. It's 5,000. He just moves on with that life. For you, if you know that you don't have that amount of money, don't put on the same level, in the same lane, because for them they are a bit higher, better than you. For you have to work hard so that you become at the same level, but not at that time. So for you have to put in and work hard.
Okay.
And you also get your own money, I think.
Yeah.
In future, you also become better, have a greater esteem. You have to have a greater esteem, greater future. Also upgrade your family to the level where the child of, like, who's your friend, is the son of a minister, where they are. Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I
Okay,
thinking
so
about.
yes, now I would like you to say something about what do you think parents are not doing right as far as parenting youth is concerned. I know you might be thinking, if I wish parents out there would know this is how we would want to be treated. This is how uh, they would. They are supposed to do things because, like I said, we raise children according to how we were raised. Yet it may not apply to your generation. We have an issue which is running all over social media. It's a recent thing. It's actually, I think, 2 days ago. A youth mentor. He runs a youth mentorship group, and he was invited by a mother of a child to force him to go to school. I think the boy had refused to go to school. And so he's the one who shared on social media explaining that I have beaten him, I have taken him by force to school. How do you refuse to go to school? The mother is a single mother, and I think how she has raised her son, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't know the details of how she has raised her child. But whatever reason this boy is refusing to go to school has been overlooked. And she just had to call in a stranger whom this child does not know, simply because this person runs a mentorship group and is mentoring boys. She called him to come and force the boy to school. And this guy is the one who shared all this on social media, and it became a big outburst out there. Some parents are saying, no, this is not right. You cannot bring in just a strange man to come and beat up the boy to school. You've not even listened to him and stuff like that. Why is he even refusing to go to school in the first place? Maybe the mother didn't raise him right, or he has some reason that they're not listening to. But this person is proudly saying, me, I have beaten him and taken him to school by force. So what do you have to say about the general parenting? Now that is an example that I just gave. Others may still be there, but what a parent out there needs to know, we, the teenagers, we, the youth of today, how we would want you to parent us, and you are not doing it right.
The first point is single parenthood. Most parents of nowadays, like the youth of nowadays, are they're growing up under single parenthood. You find like divorce. Actually, the main point is divorce. You find the parent, the mother, and the children, and then the father, they have divorced. The mother takes halfway of the children. The father takes halfway of the children. So they grow up differently. You find the children have grown up with a mother, they hate the father. The children that have grown up with a
Father, they don't.
like that. So you find, like, say the children, fathers, they are not good at raising up children.
I don't know that.
That's
They are not actively in the
they are
lives
not
of the
they're
children.
not
But yeah,
they're not that good. Mothers are always there. I don't know how they were created. So, but they
they are naturals. They
yeah,
are, yeah.
they raise up a child like at par. But it depends on the mother actually also how she grew up, because you might find also the background. You might find they had conflicts in their families.
Trauma and all that.
Yeah, trauma. So it has to also impact
Pass
that
it
one,
on.
pass it on to the children. So you find the mothers, they are also, or either the fathers, if their father is a drunkard, is a drug addict, has to come beat up the mother, beat up the children, move up. Like also, like, depending on also the conduct of the parents, the child also decide to say, now why should I go to school? Yet my father didn't go to school. Also, the parents also lead an example. So you find the child says, my father didn't go to school. He's rich. He has money. Has what?
Why should I
Why
study?
should I also go and study?
Yeah.
I can also be like my father. That's
The
that one also can
example,
also,
it gives an example.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that one can also make them not to do that. Also, the peer influence. You find a child has been moving around, the friends is having, they're impacting. They're saying, now why should you go to school? What you don't go there. That's just wastage of time. Like the way most of our youth say, that is wastage of time. Yeah, they don't know the current jobs you are getting. You have to be, even though you have experience, you have to be having at least a paper that can show that you have something on mind. So if you have something like on paper that you can show, at least that I studied somewhere, I reached somewhere. That's where like the person who's going to give you a job can start from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the parenting bit, single parenthood, is causing a lot of mismatch in raising children these days.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jerry, what
One
are we
thing-
not doing right as parents in this generation?
Basing on the example that you've given, is that that the boy, I believe, was around a teenager.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
a teenager. Now, that boy could, okay, there's, first we are taught at school that behavior of a child is based on how also most of the parents, most of the time it's based on how the parents were also behaving at that time. So
Yeah, so
either,
we inherit our behaviors.
okay, then the behavior is inherited, but it can be changed at the early stage. Now, like at school, we are told that from baby class up to P7, we have teachers. Then from senior 1 up to senior 6, we have trainers in the new curriculum. Because they believe that when a child has reached the adolescent stage, you're not teaching that child, you're now training him and guiding him. Because the teaching part is now done. You can't teach him
Anything new?
okay. Yes, you can't teach him anything new. If he has like adapted that sort of behavior, and you can't expect to change it when he's now a teenager, because he has lived with it for most of that time. Now at our school, like our teachers now, they tell us that if, let's say, you're okay, like that person who do want to go to school, yes, it could be that he adopted that behavior from the parents, or it could not. It could be that, yes, he has his reasons, but then again, there's no genuine reason why one should not go to school. But yes, it deserves to be heard out too, because hearing the problem is the first step to solving it.
Yeah. So this child, but the way they handled the situation mattered a lot. To call in a stranger who is not an uncle, not a relative, to come and, force your child to go to school. That is what people had as a problem. Okay. So do you want to add something?
Yeah. There's something I want to add on. When we are growing up, as let's say you have very many children at home, I think another thing that also adds on, like what parents need to do. Okay, it is very hard. Actually, it is hard. Yeah, it is hard. But okay, it is like the way the parents give love. Like you said, they treat their children. You find this one is treated differently from others. This one is highly like given care of, and they are the rest. They say they are two. You find like the mother, the mother and the father, they prefer this one more than the other one. When the other one sees that, he also
They
hates.
feel hated.
Yeah, it feels like as if he's
There
abandoned.
is no balance.
Yeah, let's take an example of the current generation. The boy child, most of the times, is abandoned. Yeah.
And
Now,
they favor the girls.
yeah, they are over. Okay, since they are mostly upgrading the girl child education.
True.
So they have started abandoning boy child education. So they don't.
Most programs are for girls, it's true. Empowering and mentoring and raising, it's girl child programs. Boys, they abandoned them.
Yeah. So when the boy child is abandoned, and he sees like they are over, like not over. Okay, mainly they are giving a lot of attention to the girl child. He's also going to black out and say, now they are not even giving me attention. They are not even listening to my decision, my caring. They are requesting for advice. They are not even. They just see as if I'm okay. I'm at par. So he decides to join other bad groups, social media groups that are bad. It turns out to become like a nuisance at all. He starts taking drugs, taking alcohol. He becomes an addict. By the time they realize that boy child has almost gone, has already it needs a lot of a lot of work, a lot of emphasis to put in. Also spend money to look for counselors, advisors. Since yet you would have done it earlier.
You would have prevented it.
At least you have, but it is hard. That one is very hard. I know.
It is
hard.
possible. Parents, you need to balance the girl child, the boy child. Don't have favorites among your children. And it's a very valid point. So let's talk about mentors. The mentors of you people, the people you look up to. Sometimes I look at and I wonder, you're looking up to an influencer somewhere. You're looking up to. We have girls these days who will say, "Me, I'll never marry," because the mentor she has is some former prostitute, and they are busy telling you, you know what, after all, she made it in life, and people are giving them all that mileage that. So I want you to talk about the mentors of people today. The musicians are your mentors. The film stars are your mentors. People, people out there whose private lives you don't even know about. Let's discuss mentors, because the person you look up to determines who you become. Yes.
I think since childhood, you're supposed to be guided by the parent about the person you're supposed to be, like who should inspire you. Say the parent is saying, say depending on the parent, because the generation of our parents is different from our generation.
True.
So most of our parents, they want us to live in their generation, yet we are in the new generation. So, but now if the child is growing up and you tell the child, I think that one, they say you're is an engineer, is the head of engineers. Say, I think that one, he's a very good person. Say the child is very young, 6 years. Say you have to grow up knowing that you have to be like that person. That's what one must be on your list. You must inspire you. You have to grow up knowing that that one is inspiring you. You have to inspire you, grow up. You have to become an engineer from childhood. So when the child grows, thinking that he has to become like a very big engineer, have to also tell him that have to be better than him. Actually, he should inspire you, but you have to be better than him, because you have to be better than him. Actually, you have to grow up knowing that you have to work hard and become better than him. That one can guide her or him up towards the career. Towards, it can also create a career at childhood.
Okay.
Since I remember even when we were in top class, we had our songs of I want to be a doctor, something like that. So you have to become a doctor, a lawyer. So I grew up knowing most of the times, if I look at a lawyer, I say, that one is a lawyer. I want to become a lawyer. So you have to grow up knowing that at least let me become someone, not something. I want to become someone, and I present I present my background. Whether I grew up, I upgrade my background, upgrade everyone that is coming. Also I build up something for the next generation, not the next generation working out for me, but me working for them. Get,
True,
yeah.
true. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, for me, I think people of this generation should choose mentors basing on their behavior, your behavior, your character, and your lifestyle. Do not choose someone who is completely
Opposite from
opposite.
who you
Exactly.
are, yeah. Okay. You see, so the mentors, you need to choose mentors that balance with what you want to become tomorrow, actually, and what you look up to. Yes, so we're going to go into faith issues, and that is, I think, going to be the last question. Faith issues. What do you know? You are in a generation of questions. For us, we used to believe things without questioning. They say, don't do this, don't go here, and you don't question. But you people, you are, why should I go there? Why am I not allowed to go here? You are questioning. So, what do you find believable about God? And what do you find believable about God and the gospel? That you think, yeah, it's true, God is there. This is why I think He is there.
To me, as I've been growing up, I've been moving through very many places, and I've seen testimonies. So if someone like there is a testimony that someone gives and you feel attached, you say, yeah, this is true. Like it is based on the current experience. You see, like there's nothing like someone has forged, has created something. There's a testimony that you see and you watch and say, yeah, this one is
And you see God in it.
yeah, you see God in it. First of all, if you have faith in something, if you have faith in God, you have to know that He's going to do for you, to work for you everything that you want. Because according to me, I've been like, there are some things that I pray and I receive, I get, and I say, this one is really God. Because if you believe in God, everything has to be done.
Okay.
But if you don't have faith, you just say, that one. Like nowadays, people are creating their own religions and whatever. But okay, for me, I started at CRIE at my O level. So of those people of long ago, they had mediators, but nowadays they changed to prophets. They say that also in the Bible. I don't know the verse, I don't know what, but they said the current generations that are coming, they are no longer going to be mediators. They're going to have prophets. The one that are going to be, I'm not sure, but I think are going to be prophets. Like you have to, prophets were there a long time ago. So I think there are some also other prophets that are there. I hear if some are not. I don't follow that path that much. But for me, I believe in God. I follow the word of the Bible. So if you read the Bible and you see this one directs me this way, and you see you're not interpreting it right, like in the right way, go to the priest. Priests are always, faith is not. According to me, it is a gift. So not all of us we have faith. There's some people who don't have faith. They don't believe in God. They're just there. They don't know where they belong.
They are
They-
just
they're
existing.
just existing. They're just following what is going on. So for you, if you know that God is your mentor, has been there for you, has helped. It gives you, first of all, gives you breath. It gives you life, a gift of life. He has protected you from having injuries. You're moving through roads. You're seeing people are having injuries, having accidents. People are dying. For you, surviving. You're going. You're coming back. You're moving outside. You're going whatever. You're not getting sick. You're not getting that much sickness that can put you down. Your family, your relatives, yeah, they're okay. At least even though they are having some sickness, but it comes after it goes, but you're not having a very hardship. So that one is a clear indication of faith according to the gospel. God himself, because he talks about being honest, controlling yourself. You have to be obedient, trustworthy, and God-fearing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Faith. What is believable about God and the gospel?
Well, according to me, my faith is something that I was taught when I was like very very young. So even if I'm old as 30 and older, even if you tell me otherwise, I cannot accept it because there's something I've already been taught for a very long period of time, and I've seen people also give testimonies. There are also some series that I watch where there's this man who built the Titanic. He said that not even God can bring down the ship. And then that first night that it went on sea, it drowned. Then there's also a scientist who had a very, very big understanding. Was called Stephen Hawking's. Then he said that out of all of the out of all mythology in the whole world, the biblical mythology is the one that's it's the one that's the most unbelievable, and it's the one that he despises the most. Was a very normal scientist. Then after saying that, when they came to his room that very night, his head was misfigured and it became somehow like this. Then he started acting mad. He started believing in things that don't exist, like time traveling and stuff like that. So all I know is that faith is something that's not questionable and should just believe.
Wow, wow, that is a very good and firm statement. You know, it is worrying this generation because indeed, faith, we cannot explain faith because it is actually the definition of faith. It is believing what you do not see, and so there is no way you can prove it, and yet this generation questions everything. So faith, these young people themselves have said, for them they believe even when they have never gone to heaven and come back, when they don't have proof, when they don't have answers for everything, but they believe. I believe you should believe too, because we do not know. We cannot have answers to everything, but at least there is proof of this creation itself. It's enough to show that there is a creator, there is somebody that sat down and brought these things into existence. And just like how Prince said, our life alone, the daily life we move can show you God. I actually wonder how people can live without saying they don't believe God exists, when all my life is full of God's fingerprints. You see something happen in your life and you're like, this has a supernatural backing behind it, or this is not my own making, or if I was the one, I couldn't have made it here. But I don't know anyway. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. But yeah, I think we are going to wind up. Anything you want to say to anyone out there, and then any last words? Yeah.
Yeah, the youth out there, stick to the Bible. Make sure you read the Bible, you follow it, seek for guidance and counseling if it is needed in your life to continue in a good state and have a positive attitude towards everything that is out. Or even though you don't have it, make sure you build in yourself. Make sure you have to be having at least a positive attitude, because attitude is the head of the rest of the things that are coming, minus God, because God is always is the omega, is the alpha. So thank you for having me. My name is Atwine Prince. I'm a student from 6. I'm a candidate.
Wow.
Thank you.
My last words are: humility is the first step to success. So if you want to succeed in whatever you do, you you must first be humble, then believe that God can help you do it, and also take a step in doing it so that God can push you further.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, guys, for being here, for accepting to represent your fellow youth out there. Thank you. And as you go back to school, may God protect you. May God go with you. Prince is a candidate. May he perform as to his expectations. And may God provide for you at school as you study, for the things you need at school, and for the school fees that the parents need. Yes, now we're going to wind up the show. We're going to wind up the show, and I think you've heard everything they had to say. If there is anything you want us to discuss, a topic you want us to discuss, either with a guest or with other youth, you can write it for us in the comments. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for liking, following, and sharing. We remain Transition Age. My name is Naomi for the Transition Age show, and it is Ronnie on the camera and in production. And we thank you, and may you continue to be here and to always support and push us further for this ministry to continue to go ahead. Thank you. May God bless you. Ciao.